Как дела? Я хорошо. Don't say it like this. This is a very common mistake that beginner Russian learners make. Why? Let's find out. The first phrase that you learn when you're starting to learn Russian is, of course, как дела, which is the equivalent of the English how are you? And as a native English speaker, you probably want to answer it I'm fine, I'm good, and you translate it literally into Russian. Я хорошо. But this is not the correct way to say it in Russian. The correct way is у меня хорошо. Literally, near me, it's good, it's fine. So why is that like this? Let's turn back to this phrase, как дела, and let's look at its literal translation. So it's the equivalent of how are you, but literally it translates into how are things. The noun дела is things to do or things that you are doing. It is related to the verb делать, to do. So when we ask как дела, we are not literally saying how are you. We are asking how are things going in your life? How has been everything that you are doing in your life? And this concept in your life is reflected by this preposition u plus the object form of the pronoun. So the full phrase will be как у тебя дела? Or the formal version как у вас дела? So this preposition u, why we use that? What does it mean? It means near or beside. And when we say it, the image that we have in Russian-speaking mind is the following. So imagine that you are a sun or some source of light. So imagine a lamp or the sun, and of course each source of light has some field of light around it, right? And the sun even has an orbit where all the planets are rotating. So in the Russian language, we imagine that each person is a little sun or a little source of light, and everyone has its own or his own or her own field of light or his or her own orbit. So in this orbit, there are other people, things, objects, right? So anything can be in this orbit. And things that you are doing are also in your life, within your orbit. So that is why we say как у тебя дела. So it's not, again, it's not literally how are you doing. It's how are things going in your orbit, in your life. That is why when somebody asks you как дела or как у тебя дела, and you want to say I'm good, so you want to include this I part in your answer, you will say у меня хорошо, not я хорошо, okay? And of course, your question back will be а у тебя? So for example, the person asks you как дела? Or как у тебя дела? You say у меня хорошо, а у тебя? And you, or and in your orbit, in your field, in your world. So this is what we actually say in Russian. Of course, you can just answer this question with one word, simply хорошо, как дела? Хорошо, or как дела? Отлично, great, right? Or как дела? Плохо, bad. So you can use any word to answer this question. But if you want to include the I part in it, use this, in my orbit, in my world. If you want to learn more ways to answer this question or more other useful handy Russian phrases, please check out my playlist Russian Dialogues that I put on my other channel, Russian Tutor, and you will find the link to it in the description, and watch my other grammar lessons to better understand the logic of the Russian language. Let's achieve Russian proficiency together.